A supplier charged for 45 cubic yards every delivery. His truck could only carry 20. He got away with it for years until he insulted the wrong person. This one's got a twist that'll teach you to always check the numbers, no matter how good the deal looks.
About 7 years ago, I got promoted to office manager at a small construction company. The position I inherited was a disaster. The previous manager was chaotic and basically allergic to technology. I was new to this kind of work, but I've always been detail-oriented, like obsessively so. I didn't understand how supplier accounts and material tracking worked, so I started documenting everything. Every delivery, every invoice, every cubic yard of material. Quick note, in construction, bulk materials like gravel and sand are measured by volume, cubic yards, not weight. That matters later. Steadily, about 2 months in, the owner decided he only wanted to sign checks once a week, on Fridays. All invoices received by Thursday noon get paid Friday. Not great for truck drivers living paycheck to paycheck, but most suppliers accepted it. Except one. I'll call him Vince. Vince said this was going to be a headache. I apologized, explained it was company policy, no exceptions. He seemed to accept it. 3 or 4 weeks later, Vince called in a rage, demanding his check immediately. I apologized again. It was Thursday, checks go out tomorrow, nothing I can do. He slammed the phone down. Then he called my colleague, the project manager, and screamed so loud I could hear every word from across the tiny office. The call ended with Vince declaring, "I will never work with that woman again. I'll only deal with you from now on." Oh, Vince. Oh, sweet, stupid Vince. You have no idea what you just did. See, I'd been tracking every delivery, and the numbers from Vince were never right. My system showed 100 cubic yards in stock, but the foreman kept ordering more because the pile looked like it barely had 10 left. Where were the missing 90 yards going?
I'd originally assumed the problem was on our end. Overuse, bad tracking, poor measurements, probably all of the above. But after being called that word, I decided to make a phone call. I called another supplier, my favorite guy, I'll call him Doug, who delivered different materials to us. I asked if he could supply what Vince had been delivering. Told him the details, 45 cubic yards per truck, usually 3 trucks per week at such and such price. Doug was floored. How is that guy selling at that price? That's impossibly cheap. He asked who the supplier was. I told him. Doug said, "Yeah, his truck can't carry more than 20 yards. 20, not 45, 20. I pushed back. Are you sure? He asked, "Do you get weight tickets?" I'd never even heard of weight tickets. I was totally new to construction. Nobody trained me. But I did notice that every other supplier included weight on their invoices. I'd been recording it, but never thought much of it since we measured in yards. But Vince always turned in a handwritten slip that just said 45 yards, every single time. Doug continued, "I know the quarry he picks up from. I get my own stuff there, and we're on good terms. They should have copies of the weight tickets. Let me see what I can get." I gave him the date of the last delivery. Despite trusting Doug, I was skeptical. Maybe he just wanted to poach the contract and charge more. But that same day, Doug sent me photos of the weight tickets. Vince's name was on them. The date matched, the driver's name matched, and I'd never told Doug the driver's name. Even the timing was exactly right for the drive from that quarry to our yard, matching our own security camera footage. Every single time, Vince loaded 20 yards and billed for 45. That means for every 3-truck order we paid for, we were getting shorted 75 cubic yards. That's how he kept his prices so low. He was charging for stuff he never delivered, the bargain of a lifetime, because you were only getting half of it. I dug into the entire history. Unfortunately, the previous office manager never kept weight receipts, so all we had were old checks in the system. This had been going on for years, potentially tens of thousands of dollars stolen. But without documentation, we couldn't prove it. So we did the only thing we could, stopped ordering from Vince entirely. I checked Doug's pricing against other companies, fair market rate. We switched. And so, just as Vince had wished, he never worked with that woman again. His wish came true. When the orders stopped, Vince tried calling his buddy, the project manager. Every single time, the guy told him, "Talk to the office manager." He even tried calling me once. I didn't pick up. Hey, he's the one who said he never wanted to talk to her again. She was just respecting his wishes. I eventually moved on from the office manager role. I hated it, honestly, and hired a proper replacement. Trained her way better than anyone had trained me. The company now works with bigger, more established suppliers with proper 30-day payment terms. As for Doug, he eventually sold his business to a larger company. A little sad, but that's how it goes. And Vince? Well, Vince learned an important lesson. Don't insult the person who controls your invoices. Actually, he probably didn't learn anything. People like Vince never do.
Now this woman, she tracked every delivery, built a system from scratch, zero training, and when they disrespected her, she didn't argue. She made one call and let the numbers speak for themselves. Incredulous. What she shouldn't have done is wait for Vince to insult her before investigating. The numbers were off for months. If something doesn't add up, dig into it immediately. Don't assume it's your mistake. Smug. And honestly, I would have kept ordering from Vince but demanded weight tickets going forward. Watch his face when he realizes the game is over, but you're still his biggest client. That's power. Warm. The lesson, my loyal fans? If a deal looks too good to be true, it is. Check the receipts, check the weights, check everything. Smug. And never, ever insult the person who's been quietly documenting your every move. Cheerful. If you've ever caught someone red-handed like this, I want to hear it. Comments right now. Playful. I'll be the judge of how satisfying your revenge was. Warm. Subscribe for more stories of people getting exactly what they deserve. Hades out.